Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report, with an instant reaction of the Raiders' 24-23 loss to the Minnesota Vikings. And I don't even like to say loss because, to me, I don't think that the Raiders did truly lose this game. They were the better team in the first half. When you look at the Raiders starters compared to the Vikings starters, both offensively, defensively, the Raiders were in control of that first half, up 20-7. And then the third, fourth string, second half team that the Raiders put out there, I'll be honest, played really bad. Blocking was bad, but I want to focus on the first half where you got to see Aidan O'Connell. You got to see Gardner Minshew. And this is a game that Minnesota came away with a dub, which actually, it's the first Vikings preseason win since 2019, which is kind of a mind-blowing stat. But what I'm really going to focus on here on today's show, this instant reaction, is how the Raiders starters played, what they looked like in that first half of action. Gardner Minshew led the team today with 6-12 for 117 yards and a nice touchdown pass to DJ Turner. Sincere McCormick led the ground game, but Zamir White found pay dirt. He had a rushing touchdown today. Trey Tucker made some clutch catches. Brock Bowers looked good. Jacoby Myers, 3 for 45. The Vikings, J.J. McCarthy, I know it says 2 touchdowns, but J.J. McCarthy against the Raiders starting defense, or the better defense in the first half, had 1 interception. Then when a lot of the backups came in, McCarthy looked a lot better, a lot more comfortable. I would say this, against NFL caliber defenses, J.J. McCarthy did not look good. Once the defense started to look more vanilla, McCarthy played better. But I'll tell you this, Jack Jones said, no, we're not playing vanilla. Not this defense, man. Not today. So if you want to get your questions, comments in right now, use hashtag Raiders or Super Chat. But, I don't know about y'all. I woke up this morning and probably one of the best moods I had in a long time. I went to bed last night absolutely amped up for some Raiders football, and to me, Raiders football is back. We were able to hang out with over 100,000 Raider fans during our live stream, being able to see everybody interact and comment with us. I'm happy Raiders football is back, and if you are too, like the video right now. One person that I know is happy to have it back, Blaine Craig Bang! I'm stoked that Raiders football is back in full swing. Let's relax on the overreactions. Thank you, Mitch and Chugs. And I agree. I will make a video tomorrow about some overreaction Sundays. We're going to talk about Gardner. We're going to talk about Aidan. We're going to talk about the offense, defense in general from a whole. And I'll make some overreaction claims. But, it is a show that I want y'all to watch. We're going to have some just win babies tied in there. But anybody that's, freaking out because the Raiders lost this game, it was preseason. They played better in the first half, which is definitely more important. Let's go to Urza. Do we really need a QB3? No, you actually technically don't need a QB3. And I think with the new NFL rules that you can have a quarterback on your practice squad and elevate him every week, it could be something that the Raiders look at, because I don't think anybody's going to go out and sign Anthony Brown. I know there was some speculation that maybe he could potentially be, more than a quarterback 3. You saw today that he is a QB3 in the NFL, but if it was up to me and I'm trying to debate on whether or not I want to keep some other players out there, one guy we got to keep an eye on is Jaden Grant. Jaden Grant was playing above Chris Smith, playing above Trey Taylor today, so something to watch out for. But no, I don't think we really truly do need one. It might end up happening. It might not, though. Let's go to Noah Santana. Post-game reaction from Antonio Pierce. I don't have AP's reaction yet. Now, I will say the timeouts at the end of that game, if this is a real-life football game and AP calls the timeouts and did what he did, there was 34 seconds to go, called timeout. They put 10, 15 seconds back on the clock with 49 seconds. That was a weird, decision that Antonio Pierce made, and because the Raiders lost, people might look at that and, hit the panic button on AP. Maybe he's trying to coach him up. You can't look at preseason games always as wins and losses. You got to look at, is there a teaching moment? And if Antonio Pierce took the podium and was like, hey, I was trying to teach my guy something in that situation, I'm okay with it. But was a little bit weird from time to time. Nathan Wolf, what's up, man? I'm hoping AOC plays the third quarter. Surprised they put Minshew in that early with only a field goal. I was kind of surprised, too. If anything, they seem to like what they saw out of Aidan. He was 7-9 today. Yeah, that drive ended in a field goal. Obviously, I would have liked to see another drive out of AOC as well. And what I thought was interesting was the amount of drives that Gardner ended up going in for. Again, he was 6-12 for 117. If it was up to me, I would start Minshew next preseason game. And I'm kind of glad Antonio Pierce and the Raiders decided to roll with AOC as their starter, because we've been saying all offseason long, if AOC was the quarterback 1 in May, June, and July, and if it's been a tie thus far, though based on reports, Minshew has been the better quarterback in in the offseason thus far, but it's like not close. The race is still too close to determine who's going to be that new quarterback. And since there hasn't been somebody that Antonio Pierce has been waiting and say, hey, this is my job, you go with Aidan. Ty goes to Aidan O'Connell. But, like, realistically, when you look at both of these quarterbacks, I thought Aidan played well, but I do think that Gardner did play a little bit better. It was against lesser competition, but he also had lesser talent, I guess, around him on the offensive side of the football. So when you think about the Raiders quarterback battle, okay, this is going to be a big question. Who starts week 1 against the Chargers? Did we learn anything from today's game? If you think Aidan O'Connell is going to be the starter, I want you to type AOC. If you think Gardner Minshew is going to be the starter, I want you to type GM. This will be the pinned comment here on today's show. So I want you to scroll on down and give me your answer. My answer after this YouTube ad break. The answer to this question is based off of what we saw today in the preseason. There's no way, shape, or form that you could possibly say that this guy's going to start or this guy's going to start. So because of that, I'm going to go with Aidan O'Connell as being the week 1 starting quarterback because, again, Ty goes to AOC, and I was pleasantly surprised from both QBs today, and I want to see them carry that on against the Cowboys next week. Let's go to Sebastian. What's up, man? What are the positives from this game? I would say the defense in that first drive gave up a bad drive, but you bent, you didn't break, you didn't give up any points there. Jack Jones looks quick. He was able to jump on that interception route. I was impressed by Brock Bowers and their use of him all over the football field. Trey Tucker made a beautiful deep catch there, a diving catch from Gardner Minshew. I thought, their pre-snap motion, the way that they were using Brock Bowers, Trey Tucker, and some of that pre-snap motion you got to like. I would say, based off of the defense in general, like, they were getting some pressure early on. No sacks. I would have liked to see a little bit more. What's also very intriguing, though, and that may be a positive, but definitely worth noting, the Raiders put their starting defense out there to get this game going. And they had 5 defensive linemen. They had Max Crosby, and then it was maybe not in the exact order, but it was Christian Wilkins, Adam Butler, John Jenkins, Malcolm Kuntz. So 5 guys on the line, 2 linebackers, and then they drop back Trevon Merrick, Marcus Epps, Nate Hobbs, and Jack Jones. Definitely an interesting defense. Maybe they did it more just based on the type of offense they thought Minnesota was going to run, but definitely worth noting there. We'll get into some more questions here, and a reminder, hashtag Raiders or Super Chat. Get those questions, comments on the show. I love the Game Time app, and I think the nation will as well. I think it's the perfect app for anybody trying to go out to Las Vegas this season. With the Raiders preseason here and the regular season right around the corner, Game Time is the perfect app for the nation. I love their last-minute deals where you can save up to 6% off buying last minutes for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and a whole lot more. I love the seat view where you can get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. That lowest price guaranteed or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today and last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Again, terms apply. Create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS, that's CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Shout out to Game Time for sponsoring the Raiders Report. Those links can be available to y'all down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. Let's go to Matt R. What up, man? This game exposed our depth, especially the wide receivers and offensive line, but there was hope for our quarterbacks. I agree with that our offensive line depth definitely got exposed today, no doubt about it. I think our wide receiver depth also got exposed a little bit today, which I'm more surprised by the offensive line than I am the wide receivers, just because I knew the wide receiver depth really wasn't there. But, like, it was concerning. Like, when you really, truly look at the difference in our starting offensive line compared to the offensive line that played in that second half is drastically, and I mean drastically different. But we'll see what the next preseason game looks like. It's also a brand new offense. Luke Getsy and Brian Flores and the Vikings, they do blitz a lot. Let's go to VT Holmes. Your best observation and your most critical negative in this game in the first 2 quarters. I would say my best observation would be I thought both Aidan and Gardner, they looked comfortable. Like, I thought Gardner, once the play broke down, was able to use his legs, extend the play a little bit. I thought Aidan was able to do some nice things, being sharp. I like the fact that, again, they were using some of those players in a lot of different ways. My biggest, I guess, negative off the top of my head, I didn't like how easy it was for the Vikings on that first drive with Sam Darnold to go all the way down the field against the Raiders. Again, they didn't give up any points, but we expect this defense to be elite, one of the best in the NFL. And the Vikings, that first drive, they beat them up a little bit. Let's go to Cass. Trevon Merrick looked great. He led the team in tackles with 6. Do you think Tom Telesco is going to give him a new contract before the end of the season? He's definitely a player that you got to keep in mind, and he just continues to get better and better and better, and shows why he was, a Jim Thorpe Award winner when he was first coming out of TCU. I don't know how he fell to the second round, some injury concerns, but has been a healthy player, is a leader on this defense. I think he's one of the most underappreciated safeties in all of football. What's really going to be interesting to me is you got 2 safeties that can get a contract extension. It's Marcus Epps, also Trevon Merrick. If I'm the Raiders, you give Merrick the extension. He's 25 years old compared to Epps, who's 29. And then if you do really like Isaiah Pola-Mao, then you say, okay, Pola-Mao, you're going to be the strong safety next to Merrick for some years down to come. If you want Raiders coverage every single day, I got you covered here. Man, we're going to get probably over 100,000 people that watched our watch party tonight. We gave away, or we're going to give away, a signed Rich Gannon helmet. I want to do this because I love hanging out with the nation, and if you enjoyed our preseason week 1, I can't wait for regular season, because regular season action here, it's totally, totally different on the show. So subscribe for Raiders videos all season long. Let's go to Ty. Who was your MVP? The MVP, I would say, for the Raiders in this game, I don't even know if you can give one out. Trey Tucker's got to be up there. He had 73 yards. Daniel Carlson had 11 points in total, a 56-yard field goal. The Raiders didn't win the game, so it's kind of hard to say it. Gardner Minshew looked good again today. I don't know if there was a clear-cut MVP for the Las Vegas Raiders, quite frankly. Frankie, QB1 and 2 both played well, I think, but man, Brown needs to go. What's your take, Mitch and Chugs? Anthony Brown's fine. I'm not going to sit up here and say that we got to get rid of Anthony Brown. Here's the problem. Who are you going to get rid of him for? Because the Raiders weren't even confident enough to let Carter Bradley even throw the ball. I mean, Bradley came in, and I think they legitimately ran the ball. He's probably in for 9 snaps. I think they ran the ball all 9 times. And the Anthony Brown take is a problem for me also because the offensive line was so bad. He didn't really have any time to throw. What's really going to be interesting is, do the Raiders decide to keep 2 quarterbacks on your 53-man and just say, all right, Anthony Brown, you're going to be the practice squad quarterback. Then on game day, you can elevate him to be on your active roster, but it doesn't count against your natural 53 guys. So for the Raiders, where you're making some difficult decisions, I would say this might be a bold take. I could see the Raiders keeping Jaden Grant over Anthony Brown on a 53-man because they like Jaden, where Brown could just be that practice squad guy. Scott, starters look good, and Minshew was good. Minshew looked good. Aidan looked good. I thought both starting quarterbacks looked good, which for me was the biggest, most important thing from today's football game, because Minnesota also put their starting defenders out there. So the fact that both of our QBs look good was something that I like to see. What do you think about Tyree Wilson's performance? And, Chugs and I are big Tyree Wilson guys. I thought he looked a little bit slow, just being honest. I think if anything, the more and more I see Tyree Wilson play, the more and more I'm convinced that you're probably going to have to line him up as a defensive tackle. I just don't know if he's quick enough. I don't know if he has the bend. He's more of just a power guy. And with that type of skill set, with that type of size and body, you might just have to make him a defensive tackle. I know it's a knee-jerk reaction after one preseason game, but that's my honest jerk reaction right now. If you want to hang out with Jeremy, Chugs, and I, Wednesday, August 14th this week, make a dinner reservation, 9 p.m. at Joel's Chophouse inside the Ahern Hotel in Las Vegas. The address is down there below. I'm also going to put that link for you guys down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. Make a reservation on Open Table, and in the notes, put Raiders Report. You're going to be able to get a discount. It is limited space. I think he only has maybe 5, maybe 10 spots open left, and that's when I talked to him on Wednesday last week. It's maybe even less than that. So if you want to plan on coming, if you want the best dinner Jeremy and I have ever had, if you want an awesome old-fashioned, we are going to be at the Raiders practice on Wednesday, and then after, we're literally going to Joel's Chophouse for an unbelievable dinner experience. Let's go to Ruben. Is Harrison Bryant okay? I hope so. There's a bit of a hospital ball was thrown to Bryant, took an absolute lick. I don't really have an update. I will try to get an update as soon as this show is over. But man, oh man, I was hoping for at least I was hoping for a little bit more. Not a little bit more. I was hoping to not see hospital balls. Like last season, Jimmy threw a lot of hospital balls. Brian Hoyer threw a lot of hospital balls. There were a lot of hospital balls being thrown out there, man. No doubt about it. If you guys want, hit me up on IG and on Twitter, at Mitchell Renz 365. We're going to keep you guys up to date. News, rumors, all the good stuff. If you ever go to a Raiders game and you want me to share it on my social media, I saw Sienna Culley was there. Tag me on IG. I'd be more than happy to do it. And if I couldn't get to your questions during this post-game reaction, I will do my best during my off days, during my free time, to be able to answer all your DMs. Shout out to the nation, shout out to Justin Abgen, and shout out to John Scheffler, our 2 MVPs during our watch party. I don't know whose jersey I'm going to wear yet because we are still technically live, and if you're watching the show and you're wondering, hey, is the Raiders Report still live? There is a chance. I'm not going to lie to you. Definitely a chance. Would have loved for the Raiders to get a dub today, but the most thing that I can say is I like the way Aidan played. I like the way Gardner Minshew played. I'm going to go home tonight happy just because of those 2 things.